Hello everyone, Pokenixie here and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make yourself at home and hop in on the ride to create a Poland-based region. See guys, I can do it sometimes. I didn't have to script it at all. Who said that? Anyways, in this video we are covering my starters and their evolutions, their first evolutions, my guys. It's gonna be great. But if you haven't seen the starters yet, consider checking them out. In my first video, I cover all the legends that they are based on, so you might, even just for context, you might just check it out to see what they're all about. Also, in the last episode I proposed 3 potential names for the region that we're creating, but I'll reveal them at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's check out our first starter. First evolution we're covering today is the Fire Starter. As you'll see, I included glass elements, which could be an interesting concept. Fire and glass. Especially that in the legend, and in at least one of the versions of the legend, the basilisk was turned into stone by encountering someone with a mirror. And as we all know, if a basilisk sees itself in a mirror, it turns itself into stone. So it is a potential for a rock type. But I am not going to go in this direction. I actually have a way cooler idea for the second typing for this evolution line, which is going to appear in the third evolution. At this point in time, it's just gonna be a pure fire, pure water, and pure grass, right? Okay, speaking of the glass element, it juts out at this Pokemon's forehead, which, must be painful, right? That's why I really wanted to portray how painful this stage is for the Pokemon, to show the struggle it's gonna go through in order to become more powerful. Speaking of, all the starters will go through different kinds of struggles in search to find their true selves. At least that's the idea that I have for all of them. That's also the thing that connects them all, the suffering that they go through to achieve their higher goals. In case of a fire starter, it goes through physical pain and lack of self-control. So now that we've talked about this evolution, let's meet Glassilisk, the aching Pokemon. When Bassistris evolves, it's never prepared for the sheer power its future evolution contains. That's why Glassilisk's power painfully manifests itself with a glass protrusion on its forehead. It takes a lot of time and patience for Glassilisk to get used to the pain so it can train to take control of its inner strength. Their skin is tough as rock, and its special attack raises immensely, making it a challenging opponent in battles. So how do you like him? I know you like him. I like him. My goodness, I'm so proud of this design. It turned out exactly how I portrayed him in my head. I don't know how I'm doing this, but he turned out perfect. And just let me know what your opinion on him is. But now, let's move on to the water starter. In this evolution, I wanted to include Nets as a reference to the fisherman who wanted to capture the mermaid. To use her for profit and everything. Overall, just fishermen, because Warsaw used to be a fisherman's town. And one thing about the base form, someone pointed out that the Savarin's name in summary references a siren, which are technically considered to be harpies, but not necessarily. They are considered harpies only in Greek mythology, but if you do a quick Google search, when you type in siren, all that pops up are mermaids, like what you imagine a mermaid to be. So actually, I wasn't wrong. You're wrong! No, don't worry about it. But yeah, even if it was a harpy, it's still more of a reference to their singing and how alluring it is. But yeah, either way, I planned for the next evolution's name to be referencing a mermaid and not, a siren. They seem the same to me, it's just different naming. Give me a break. But yeah, I'm keeping Savarin's name, but this one will just include a mermaid in its name instead. But yeah, just like Glassilisk, this Pokemon will go through their own struggle, and in this case, it goes through restraint and frustration. So yeah, after all this, let me introduce you to Mernetrap, an entangled Pokemon. When Sawaran evolves, it's never prepared for the sheer power its future evolution contains. That's why Mernetrap's power falls dormant, trapped in its own nets. However, the nets themselves protect Mernetrap from special attacks, and the swords on its back can cut like razors. It's still a very frustrating time for the Pokemon in this stage, so it requires a lot of dedication, love and patience to guide it through their hardships. And you're probably seeing a theme going on there. I mean, I explained it before, but the descriptions are where this connection really shows between the Pokemon that I created. So I thought this might be pretty cool for the starters here. I also wanted to include the struggle and trying to achieve their true powers because of Poland's history, really. We all just had it rough as a country throughout history, and yeah, eventually we kind of found ourselves. I mean, of course, it's not a perfect country. Some might argue about politicians not being too great, and I agree personally. But let's just not delve into that too much. It's a Pokemon channel, not a politics channel. Although the way our country just developed in such a short time, it's just fascinating. And this is pretty much what I wanted to show through these Pokemon. But yeah, we're not done yet. Lastly, let's check out the grass starter. In this evolution, I'm once again referencing Gniewek's story. Again, check out the first video for context. So, in the legend, Gniewek went through a heartbreak that basically killed him. And this is something I wanted to show in this Pokemon's design, where I included a literal broken heart, because, I mean, of course, and also a hint of a bow tie and a tuxedo. You know, to make him look like a groom with a broken heart. To be honest, as you can see from the speed paint, I struggled. Like, I struggled so much to get him right. I went through 3 sketches, which never happens to me. I never resketch my drawings. This, for some reason, it was very difficult. But this might come from the fact that overall it was a very difficult idea to go off of. I mean, the fact that I didn't like the legend, and also the fact that I always had trouble with that design. Anyways, I think I nailed it still. At least I hope you like it, because I like it. I eventually, when I finally got through the design, I really enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, just like every other starter, it goes through its own struggle, and their struggle is overpowering emotions and internal suffering. So let me introduce you to Beroken, the longing Pokemon. When a Dorsa evolves, it's never prepared for the sheer power its future evolution contains. That's why Beroken's power was vicious enough to break its heart, both literally and metaphorically. Heavily emotional Pokemon who needs a lot of care and reassurance to take control over its own crushing feelings. The colder it becomes, the more strength it gains, but also loses the amount of affection it was able to share before. And this is our trio all together. Aren't they amazing? I'm so proud of them. I'm especially happy with Beroken's shiny. Oh my god, it's pink! Come on, now it's pink! But yeah, now that we're excited for the starters and how they're going, let's get excited about the name of the Poland-based region. So, on Twitter, I only got 1 vote from my boyfriend. Hello, thank you. And 1 comment also backing the same name. I decided to, include it because, I mean, what am I thinking? I'm a tiny channel, and I set up polls hoping that at least 1 person will vote. Right. But anyways, the region's name officially is... Yep, that was a grumble. It's Lehia region. I'm still iffy about, the Lehia thing, but you know what? It's growing on me. I like Lehia region. It also fits because of the legend about Lechchak and Rus. I think I want to make Pokemon based on them as well. Maybe make legendaries out of them. Yes! Okay, sorry. I I get a little excited about this thing. I'm really having fun with designing Pokemon for you guys, and I'm just so happy to have you on the journey. Whether you're Polish or not, you're amazing. Thank you for joining in. So yeah, anyways, like and subscribe and join me on the journey. Here are my socials, and goodbye. Oh hey, you made it this far in the video. Hello. So, while I was drawing, I was watching some Pokemon in Polish dubbing, and I just wanted to share with you how how entertaining it can be. Especially, well, let's cover first how some Pokemon names are pronounced, shall we?
Niektórzy nie wiedzą, kiedy skończyć. Dobrze, Kasidy. Jak walczymy?
Kasidy, kurwa.
Raczej trzy. O co chodzi? Nie bójcie im, to nasz
Cassidy.
Uwielbiam Clefaible.
Clefaible, kurwa.
Pokemonem, które umieją czegoś takiego.
Uwielbiam Clefaible. Mito! Mewtwo!
Nie wierzę, że jesteś...
Kurwa, Mito!
Nigdy nie widziałem tak wielkiego Magikarpia. Ja także.
Magikarpia, what? Isn't that just hilarious? Clefaible? Mito? Of all things? After that, we can just appreciate Jesse's voice and Team Rocket, which we call Zespół R. Just listen.
Czas na nagrodę. Oto jest Mar. Miłościwy.
Będziemy walczyć. James!
Walczyć słusznie jest zła.
Spotkaj się lub do walki stań. Yeah, what the fuck? I really got into it, didn't I? And lastly, I just wanted to show you my reaction to Bye Bye Psyduck. It broke me. Psyduck! Nie! So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.